I just built this n8n auto publishing system that generates complete videos in trending niches and can publish to all major social media platforms every day, hour, or even every few minutes. And I'm going to share it with those who might need it. This system will validate a trending niche. It'll do the research, create a script, generate the complete video, and publish it to all social media channels fully automatically to increase your reach. I'll teach you how to set this up step by step, including a deep dive into a new tool that allows the automation to integrate so easily with these social media channels. The tool is called Blotato, and it's a fraction of the cost of similar apps, and it's super powerful. So once this is set up, all you do is enter your niche for your video, and the automation does everything, including the setup and config for Blotato, and it can post to all of your social media channels simultaneously. With that one run, the automation can post to YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and a bunch of others. And what's great is since we're using no-code tools, anyone can do this even if you're a complete beginner. All you literally need to know is how to drag and drop, plus a bit of copy and paste, and you're all set. I actually started a second YouTube channel using this workflow and published a few videos to see what would happen. I will show you the full details of the channel and how they are performing at the end so you can check them out. Now, learning about n8n automation is also an excellent use of your time given the demand for it. n8n, it's basically a no-code automation tool similar to Zapier or Make.com. And as you can see here, if you type it into Google Trends, it is absolutely exploded in popularity and demand recently, and just because of how easy it is to set up workflows with this tool. So learn about automation and stick around to the end, because this might be just one of the most important skills you've ever learnt. If you're new here, welcome. I'm on a mission to make the power of AI and AI automation easy to learn, especially if you want to make a business from it or take your current business to the next level. To make this as easy as possible for you, all the resources and prompts you need to implement this n8n workflow is right here in the Online Ninja community. Now take special note of this .json file. You can download this and import it right into your n8n, and it will create the automation for you in one click. Alright, let's build this thing from scratch. The first thing you're going to need is an n8n.io account. So if you haven't got one, just head here and click this, get your account. Once you're in n8n, you just want to click the plus button to create a new workflow, and then you'll get a screen that looks something like this. The first node we need in this automation is a scheduled trigger. To get that one set up is pretty straightforward. We're just going to click on this plus button and type in schedule. There it is there, schedule trigger. And over on the left-hand side, you get the choice of the interval. So days is the interval trigger, and then days between triggers, etc. So I'm just going to leave this as the default for now, but once you're set up, you might want to run this process every hour, every 8 hours, every day, whatever works for you. Next thing we need is a set field node. So to get that, we just again go up here and we go to set. You'll see this edit fields set. Click on this one. Now we've got manual mapping. We just need to add a field in here. Now I'm going to call this niche, and the value is going to be whatever the niche is we want our videos to be in. So for now, I'm just going to use n8n automation. And that is all we need to do here. So I can just exit out of this one. The next node in our automation is going to be SERP API. n8n actually has a node already built for that, so we can just leverage that. So we just type in SERP, and you'll see it here, SERP API official. So that makes things pretty easy. And if we scroll down, what we're looking for is Google Trends. So we just click on this one and it's going to open up. And the first thing we'll do is connect our API. So if you just click on the little pencil icon, you'll get this form here, and you just enter in the API key. If you don't have a SERP API account, just head over to serpapi.com, register, and the very first screen you get to, you'll be presented with your API key. So just copy it, paste it in here, and you're all good. Next thing we need to do is set this search query, and to do that we need to execute the previous node. So I'm just going to click on this one. What you'll see is the data from the set node that we set up earlier. Just grab niche and drag it over here. This is just grabbing whatever the niche is we set in the previous node to carry that forward. There's nothing else we need to do here, so we can close this one down. That's done. Now for our next node in the workflow, we need a code block. So just go up here, hit the plus, type in code, run custom JavaScript or Python. That will do. First thing we'll do is delete out all the code that's in here. And then I'm just going to go over to the instructions here, and we have the trend code block. So I'm just going to copy all of this, and we're going to paste it in here. Now all that this is doing is actually analyzing whether the query that we've entered in, whether it's considered a high trending topic based on Google Trends data. Now that the code's added, we actually can execute the previous nodes. So that ran successfully. So there's nothing else we need to do here. I will add this code block here into the description in case you want to use it, but we can close this down now. Next, we need a filter. So again, up here, we'll type in filter. And what we want to do first is execute the previous nodes. So that successfully ran. What we want to do here is grab this trend status, drag and drop it up here. That's an expression now, and we want that if it's equal to strong upward, and we want to also add another condition here, and it'll be an or. We drag trend status across here again, and we'll put in moderate upward. Okay, and what that's going to do, it's going to analyze the data that came from Google Trends. If it's either strongly upward trending or moderately upward trending, the workflow will continue. So there's nothing else we need to do here, so we can close this one down and go back to the canvas. Next, we want to add in our perplexity model, and it's going to go and do some research for us. Now, if you type in perplexity here, you won't actually find anything. So not every tool is basically an available node in n8n, but what we can do instead is do a HTTP request. There it is there. The method is going to be post, because we're going to post some information over to Perplexity. And for the URL, I'm just going to grab it from the notes here. It is this one here. For the authentication, I'm just going to go down to set up a generic credential type. And in this list, I'm going to scroll down and we're going to go for header auth. And you can see it's grabbed Perplexity straight away. Now, at the end of the video, I'm going to show you for all the different API types, and you've never used it before, how you can actually set this up. There's a few different ways, but I'll show you the way that I've done it for this workflow. Now, the next thing we need to do is send the headers. So we just toggle this on and we'll enter in content type application JSON. That's all we need to do there. And we are going to send a body as well. We're going to be using JSON. To get the JSON body, if I go back to my notes here, we're actually just going to send this. Paste that in there. And that is actually all we need to do. Now, this is quite a small window here, and if you want to actually see it all, you can just click this little link here and it'll open a larger modal, and you can see this is the input and this is what is coming out. So you can see here there's this JSON.query, and over on this side it's saying execute previous node for the preview. And because we haven't executed yet, it's not going to pass on that value. But now that that's set up, we can execute the previous node. And there you go. So Perplexity has now got the values it can use to pass on for its query. And if we open up this window again, we will see n8n automation is in here. So in terms of the Perplexity setup, we're all done. It's ready to go off and do some research. So we're just back on the main canvas here, and just a couple of tips. If you want to realign this as it gets bigger, you can just click on this one here. It says tidy it up. So it will recenter it and make it bigger, but you can also, zoom out, zoom in, etc. One thing you might notice also, we've got the schedule trigger, we've got the edit fields, so we've got our code block, our filter that we added, and now we have this HTTP request. Now that doesn't actually tell us much. So what is good practice is to go back in here and up the top, just rename it. So we'll call this Perplexity. That makes a bit more sense. All right, so our next node that we need is the OpenAI call, and that's going to go off, take the research data, and generate a script for us. So type in OpenAI, and the one we want is to message a model. So if we just go through these, that's okay. OpenAI account, we're already connected here. There are instructions on how to do this later in the video, as previously mentioned. Resource, we're going to go with text, message a model, choose a model from a list. So what have we got here? Just want to go with, we don't need a very expensive one, so we'll go with one of the minis. Now for the prompt, this prompt is going to take the research from Perplexity and convert it into a script, and also put it in a structured format that we can use later in this workflow. I'm going to go back over to my notes. I've got this OpenAI expression here. I'm just going to copy it. Go back over here, and you guessed it, I'm going to paste it in here. Now I'm getting some error messages here, and this is likely because I haven't actually ran the previous node to get these inputs. So if you get this, don't panic. Let's just run the node, and we should be able to either fix them or they'll clear themselves. Reference node doesn't, oh, okay. So let's go back to the canvas for a second, and I can show you what the problem is. I need to actually connect this into here, and now I actually hadn't had that link. Open it back up, and that's looking pretty good. The errors have gone. Now if we want to see what this does, we can run it, but first we'll just output the content as JSON, and we're good to go. So let's just run this one. And you can see Perplexity has returned its research on n8n automation. Now if I execute this step, we'll actually see the script being generated. And here you go. So why n8n automation is exploding in 2025. There is the script. We've also got a description that we can pass on to YouTube and the other social channels if we want to add a description for our video. So that node is all done. So we can close that one down. All right, so we've actually completed the first phase, if you like. This is the trending niches and script component, and we can highlight this, which is kind of good to do to make it visually easier to understand the whole flow. So we can add a note to it. I'm going to drag this up here. So I've just called it trending niche and script, this section, and I'll change the color. That's all done. Our next step is we want to generate the video component. To do that, we're going to need a HTTP request again, because we're going to be using HeyGen. So I'm just going to click on this one, go for HTTP request, add that in. I'm just going to go back to the canvas again, just to make sure it actually connected so I don't get an error again, and it didn't for some reason, but don't worry, let's just hook that on there. All right, let's configure this one. So I'll open it up. The first thing I'll do is I'll rename it. Call it HeyGen. Now this is going to be a post request because we're going to send the script to HeyGen. So we've got a post. For the URL, I'll just type that in. So that's our endpoint, HTTPS, we've got api.heygen.com, v2 video and generate. So for our authentication, I have previously used this, so it'll be in my list of authentications to use. So if we go to, it'll be a header auth again. Now you'll see Perplexities come up because it's the first in the list, but what we can do is grab HeyGen. Next, we do need to send some headers using the fields below. So it's going to be content type, application JSON again. So that's the headers done. Now we do need to send the body of the JSON as well using JSON. What we need to put in here, this is available in HeyGen, but it's also available over here in the notes to copy in. So if I go to HeyGen JSON for a talking photo, you can see there is this JSON file here. So just going to grab this. We're going to paste it in here. Now I'll open it up so you can take a look at it. So basically, there's a couple of things you want to take note of here. If you're using the free version of HeyGen, you may need to change this dimension because it only supports the lower resolution. This is on a paid plan. And the other things to take note of is the type. So we have a talking photo we're going to use. And in HeyGen, it gives IDs for all of their avatars. The scale, this is how much it zooms in when you actually want to, whether you want to zoom in further than what the natural avatar appears as. And sometimes on shorts, you may want to do that. For speed, you can speed it up a bit. I've gone with 1.1 here. The voice ID, this is also from HeyGen. We'll take a look at where you can grab that. And the input text. Now, the input text, this is actually going to be from our script that we just grabbed. So I will change this to be an expression in a minute, and that will finish this one off. You can see also, just before we jump out of it, down the bottom, I've got the aspect ratio. This is in the shorts mode, and also I've got captions turned on. If you don't want captions, just change that to false. If we jump over to HeyGen, HeyGen is going to generate our video based on our script that OpenAI has generated for us. Based on all those parameters we've just gone through, you can customize what your video is going to look like and sound like, basically. Once you have a HeyGen account, you can get started for free, and they do allow you to generate a couple of videos within the app, but we're actually going to be using the API. So if you go to your settings, you will be able to have this link here, subscriptions and API, and you'll click on this one here, HeyGen API, and you can see, I think you get 10 credits to start with, and it's probably enough to generate 10 or 15 short videos, maybe less than 30 seconds. To get your API token, you just click on this, and then you can put it back into n8n in our workflow, and that pretty much sorts that. When it comes to avatars and voices, if you click on avatars, now there's two main types of avatars. There is a talking photo, and there is another one. Let me just click over here to double check what it is. There's a talking photo and just a standard avatar. So just a bit of a tip. This one here is a standard avatar, and this one here, this is a talking photo. So if we wanted to get the ID to use this avatar, if you just click on it, and this is a talking photo, you just have to copy this. This is the ID. And when we're back over in our JSON file, talking photo ID, we would just paste that in there if we want to use this avatar. Now, if we go back, if we go into voices, you can choose any voice you like. And I think up here, get voice ID. So if you click that, you go back over into your JSON file and go down, you add your voice ID there. Now, if you run this and you get some weird errors coming up here, like voice not recognized or avatar not recognized, you've probably mixed up between using a talking photo and a standard avatar. So just be aware these are different files, and I haven't actually created these, myself. HeyGen actually provides all of this documentation. So if we click on here, and I will put the link in here for the documentation, you can actually see all the available fields. You can actually put your API key in here, and you can generate the complete list of avatars. You can pull that out here by just pressing try it. You can get the list of voices by just putting your key there and press try it, etc. So you can pull all that information down, put it into a notepad, and then you have it for yourself. So I've just tried to speed it up, the process for you, and sort of skip over it to the bits I think you really need to know. So that is pretty much HeyGen setup. When I run this, it is going to generate or kick off the process for generating a video. And then what we need to do is listen for when the video is complete. And when it is complete, that status will give us the URL and all the other information we need to post to our social channels. So with all that done, I'm going to kick off the execute step so we can generate our first video. And you can see there, it's instantly fired that off. There were no errors. It says error null. Now that sometimes looks a bit confusing, but that's actually a good thing. data, and here's our video ID. So if we went into HeyGen, we will see this video ID generating, and it can take 3 to 5 minutes. So we will let that run and then we can take a look at it. Now, while that is running, we're going to add the next node. So we're going to go up here and we're going to go to set again. I'm going to grab this one here. Again, I'll just make sure it's connected. It's connected, so I can double click on it again. And I'm going to call this one set video ID. And what this is going to do, it's going to allow us to track the ID of the video until it's completed. We'll add a field, call it video ID. And the value, nice and easy, just drag and drop this over here and it'll convert this field into an expression. So you can see it here, there's the expression and there is the value. That's our video ID that's running in HeyGen. If I execute this, it's really just going to give the output of our ID, and then we will add a video status node that's going to poll HeyGen to see where the video is at. The video status will be a HTTP request. We'll just rename it like we've done with our other ones. Call it video status. It's going to be a GET request, and for the URL, I could type it in or grab it from the notes, but I know I've got it here somewhere, video status. So this is the endpoint. Paste that in there. Authentication, again, it's going to be HeyGen. That's the beauty of if you set up the credentials, how I'm going to show you, you don't have to do it over and over, you only do it once. Okay, so we do need to send some query parameters. What we want to send is the video ID. And we'll just grab that from the last step. And there it is there. Now we do need to send some headers, so we'll add these in. It's basically just going to be accept and application JSON. Okay, that is pretty much it, I think. So we can close this out. I'm going to show you another little tip. Because I don't want to keep running the entire process, because every time you run Perplexity, OpenAI and HeyGen, you are using credits. So what you can do, you can see I've got a little pin, they've gone blue. If we just go into here and I click that, it's going to use the values that have been generated through this process. So I can just use everything to this point without actually executing it. So if I go back into video status and I go to execute step, it should be pretty quick. And there you go. So the video, while we've been doing this, it has generated, it tells you the time, it gives you a thumbnail URL, gives you the video URL, and it gives also a video URL with captions. Now, if I copied this and put it into a browser, that video is going to run and we're getting a success message. But the one we're actually looking for that I skipped over is this one here, status completed, because when we get a status completed, we can then post it to our social channels. The next step to complete the video generation process to completed, we're going to put an if statement in. So I'll just click on this one and type in if. And what we want is we want to look at the status again. So it's here somewhere. If this status equals completed, we want to do something. So we'll go back to the canvas here. If I move this up here, you can see if it's true, do something. If it's false, do something. So if it's false, I want to send it back here. And if it's true, for now, I'll just put a wait there so I can run it. And I'll just say wait 5 seconds. Okay. So another way to run this, I'm going to pin this and then I'm going to run it. That ran successfully. Now we can check our if statement. So if the status was complete, it should go up to wait. If it's false, it would run back down through here. Now we know it's complete, so it should head up here. And there we go. You can see this line go green. And now we're at this node ready for the next step. Now I'm just going to press the tidy up button down here and add another note. And I'll change the color to green for this one. So 2 out of our 3 phases are done. We've got our n8n script all done. We've generated our video, and now we're at the point where we are ready to post to our social channels with Blotato. Now, just before we go on to Blotato, I've just noticed something that needs to be fixed. If you look at this loop here, if it's false, go straight back to here. So this, we actually need to put a weight in here. So if you just press on this little plus, again, we can go to weight. And because we know that HeyGen takes anywhere between 2 and 6 minutes for a short kind of video, we don't want to poll it every few seconds. So I'm going to put this after a time interval, change this to minutes, and I'll just say check it every 3 minutes. Now we can move on to the final phase. So to get started on this next phase, we need to first head over to Blotato. Now, if you've never heard of it, that's okay. It's relatively new, but got a whole bunch of features, but the one we're interested in is the ability to post content to multiple social media channels simultaneously using their API. So you just log in, and once you're in there, you head over to your settings and you'll get to this page here. And you can see here we've got Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, etc. And the first step in here is to actually connect your accounts. So to connect to YouTube, for instance, if you click on here, you get that standard authentication pop-up form, and then you can enter your details and you'll get this ID. Now, if I click on copy ID, that's going to give me the unique ID that's linked with this application and the API key that I can use over in n8n to post up to YouTube. If I scroll down a bit further, you can see this is where we can copy the API key. So I can click on copy here. And really, that's all we need to do in Blotato. One thing I will point out before we go back to n8n is they do have really good documentation. So what I'm showing you here again is coming from this documentation. It tells you what your authentication header looks like, Blotato API key, and then you put in your key. So we get all that set up, and then we're just about done. The first thing we need to do back in n8n is actually set our IDs. If I go to set, grab this, just go back because it hasn't connected it. So I'll just extend it from the weight. But in here, we'll give it a name. And then we want to add some JSON. So click on this one, we'll blow this away. Then I'll go over to my notes here. You can get this from Blotato's documentation as well. So I'm just going to copy this, paste it in here. Just note that you will have to enter in your own IDs here. And for that step, that's all we need to do. Okay, so we've got everything we need to do the next step, which is going to be a HTTP request to Blotato. Go to HTTP. Now we'll give it a name. So we'll call it Blotato Video Upload, rename. Now this will be a post request. The URL, I can grab that here. It's in Blotato's documentation as well. Next we have authentication. So pretty straightforward. A credential type. Again, it'll be auth, the header auth. And I'm going to grab Blotato. And if you click on this, you can see the exact setup. So it was Blotato-API-key, which we saw in the notes, and then you just add the API key. So now we do need to send across some JSON in the body. So we'll click on this one. Now what we want to do here is we'll use the specified fields. This is going to be URL and the value of it. We're going to need to execute the previous node so we can grab that. All right, so that did run okay. Next, we need to just open this up, and what we're looking for is either we want the video URL or the URL caption. So I'm after the one with the captions. And that's converted into an expression. If we open this up, we can see what the variables are within this when they're shown here. So this is the result. That's the URL. So that is all good. There is nothing else we need to do on this one. So I'll just go back. And if you did get this far and you're still watching, you might have noticed this had a little error on it. If I open it up, what it was is I copied the title from my notes across here, and it had a little red underscore. Delete that, and then it's all good. So I'll close that one back out. What I want to do is actually run this node, and then I want to pin it. The first social media channel we're going to post to is YouTube because we've already got that set up. But we might want to customize our description because often you want to include a link and that type of thing. And from OpenAI, it will just generate that base description. So if I click on here and we go to set, what we can do is click in this one and we can call this YouTube description. We'll update this. And then in the value, what you can do is combine the description that's coming from OpenAI. And you may want to add in something before this that is like your link, a URL. So you can combine the AI generated description plus your own custom link for your call to action, that type of thing. So that's all we need to do here. It's optional. You can skip this step if you just want to use the base AI description. Now, the next part is pretty quick and easy. All we have to do is duplicate that node, connect it up, open this one up, call it YouTube, rename it. It is going to be a post. We just changed this to posts. Credentials are all set. So we do want to send the JSON body. If we scroll down a bit, you want to make this using JSON. Click on here. If we go over to my notes and paste it in here. Now, if I open this up, what you're going to see is these variables are coming through, so that's okay. But we want to add the actual title in and we want our description coming through. So what we can do is close this and find them in here. So this one here is the description. So to get that, I just need to execute this previous node. And there it is there. So I will select this one because if you customize it, you'll get your customized version. So just grab it and drag it into there. And the other one we needed to update was the video title. So if you delete that out, OpenAI, and there is our title there. And that is it. All right, let's talk API keys. Let's do the simple ones first. For SERP API, super easy. Just get your API key and paste it in there. That's it. For OpenAI, again, double click on it, click on this one, paste in your API key. All done. Now, for the others that use HTTP, this is the approach you need to take if you want to make it really simple for this project and future projects. So let's look at Perplexity. It's a HTTP request. So I've just added a demo node down here so I can show you how to do this. So I'm going to open it up. If I go to the notes, what you can see here for Perplexity is that it's a header authentication with a bearer token. So what that means is the name for the authorization is going to be authorization and the value is going to have a prefix of bearer. So I'm going to copy authorization, go back here. We're going to go to generic credential type, and then you want to select header auth because that's what it told us it was. And then in this drop down, create new credential. Now it said it was authorization, and then in the value, all you need to do is have the word bearer and a space and then your API key and paste it in there, hit save, and you're done. I'll just close that one. Now, the next one here was HeyGen. So if we open up this, if I go over to my notes here, if you have a look at HeyGen, here it is. So again, it's a header auth credential. The name is x-api-key. Now, this is super important that you get this exactly right. If we go back here, again, generic credential type, header auth, create a new one. The name is that, and then you just enter in the API key. I don't think this one has bearer in front of it. No, it's just the API key from HeyGen, which was here somewhere. So you just copy it from here and paste it over there. So that's HeyGen done. Now our final API call is with Blotato. So I'll open this one up. If I go over to the notes here, Blotato credentials. So again, it's header auth. The name is going to be authorization. So we go to here, again, generic, header auth, create a new one, put authorization in, and just double check it doesn't have bearer. It does have bearer, so we need a bearer, a space, and then the Blotato API key. And that is what you paste there. Hit save, and you're all good. So I hope that makes sense. And once you've done that, any of your projects that you're using that uses the authentication for these resources, you just select it like I have when I've built this workflow. To execute it within here without scheduling a trigger, you just hit execute workflow. And there you go, it's published to YouTube. This is the second channel I set up. I initially set it up purely so I could post the short form videos here to make sure everything was working perfectly. But what happened was completely unexpected. If I click on content and then click on shorts, these are all the videos that have been posted in about the last 3 or 4 days. This video here is the one we just did. We go over to the channel itself and I click on more. You can see I did put in the description that this is a demo channel for my main channel. But if we go down the bottom, I've had nearly 6,000 views. And just to confirm when this channel was set up, 13th of June 2025. Now, if I compare this to my main channel, these are the last 2 videos that I published. I've got 571 views on this video. It took 8 hours to put together. This one here also took about 8 to 10 hours to put together, and I got 2,800 views. So between these 2 previous videos in the last 2 weeks, I have got less than 50% of the views of what my new channel got here. I hope you got a bit of value from this video. If you did, consider giving it a like and subscribe to the channel. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments. I try to answer everyone's questions. And if you would like to get started really quick, just remember, if you join the community, click on Get Started, scroll down the bottom, import this file, and it's one click. All you have to do is add your API keys and you are done. You don't have to do anything else. I look forward to catching you in the next one.